All right, good morning, everyone. Got a gap lower on this fine Friday. NQ gapping lower, gapping down into almost into that 700 level of interest. Also, you have last week's low right through there. The regular trading hours low from last week, right in that area. So, main focus for this morning is how price responds to that 700 level. Now, we do potentially have, well, based on the current action, we do have a near term range breakdown. Price is actually down beneath that daily inflection point that we've been talking about in the 21K area. So if 700 holds this morning, if we have buyers try and fill that gap, be cautious in the 900 and 21K area right through here, as I would expect sellers to attempt to reemerge in this area. Now, if they fail, if sellers fail to defend this daily inflection point, more than likely price is going to be poised for a retest into the prior day low and then maybe the 150 area as well. So that's going to be the focus for this morning. I think we also have ES right into a key level of interest as well. Yeah, the 770 area right through there will be on watch. As far as the actual structure heading into the opening bell here in about 3.5 minutes, we do have, let's take a look at the profile. So session volume point of control hasn't shifted just yet, but we do have a bit of a structure right through here. So let's see how price responds to that structure. Good volume, of course, this morning. Really nice volume here ahead of the bell. And the high of this structure point's about 830, 850-ish. Right through there. So that should give us some good clues off the open. 30 minutes through prior bar high right now, 15 minutes. Also looking pretty good. Whether buyers can hold this move here into the open is yet to be seen. So no crystal ball, as always, just reacting to what price shows us. Yeah, ES, a pretty similar structure there. Better proximity to a level of interest, that ES. What we can do is take a fib for the overnight high to overnight low. Let's see where we're at. So there's your shallow fib right there. What is that? 850? Yeah, 850. Wouldn't mind seeing that volume point of control shift down here. In about 90 seconds till the open. So one thing I'll definitely, we do have some volatility this morning, but I will be keeping an eye on volume today. We do have Memorial Day weekend coming up. Market is closed on Monday. So not unusual to see volume kind of taper down ahead of the holiday weekend. And here comes the open, 60 seconds. Anyone trading pre-market yet? Who traded pre-market? I know some of you. I know some of you had to be getting active pre-market. Thought the action was a little better in ES for that pre-market. All right, here comes that open 5 seconds. Let's see what we're working with here. Just shy of 900 now. Look at that gap on the RTH chart. Right back into that structure. Yes, sir, Dom. Discipline, name of the game. Respect your rules, follow your process. A little bit of indecision here right off the open. NQ sitting just above that pre-market structure. Right through there. There's your new high of day. Do we see a true test of 900? Looks like all the indices are bouncing, at least so far. 3 minutes into the open. I do have a 10 a.m. print and some Fed speak today. That's about it. NQ just shy of 900 here. So a nice little hold of that pre-market structure. Figured that would give us some decent clues this morning. And here's 900. This is where it'll get a little more interesting if you ask me. Daily inflection. Higher time frame inflection point. 38% fib is at 920. And then VWAP about 981-ish. Right there with the 50. Not bad, not bad. Not bad for a little market structure, opening drive sort of setup there for you. See how this 900 is going to be treated now. 38% fib, right in that area as well. Yeah, so we talked about the structure right through here. Get the little break above, a little micro retest, micro time frame retest. So your entry with a nice defined stop for the gap fill idea. Now, whether or not that gap fills completely, no idea, but it's kind of the basis of the trade idea. Getting into what is that, 940s? Starting to close in on VWAP and the 50% fib. Ray caught that one. Nice. Same entry. Trim a little more right there. There we go. There we go. Not bad. And just shy of VWAP now, so may want to tighten those trails. About 100 points in floating profit. You can see the little 15-second hammer there that set up the entry for me. Not an A plus trade. No level of interest. No level of interest. Purely market structure and then a couple of other reference points. You have the shallow fib there, as well as the value area low for the overnight sesh, or the extended hour sesh rather. Yeah, Russell, still riding. You in there? Still riding it. I'd like to see if price will test the 21K with the 50% fib and VWAP right in that area. Got my trail sitting just beneath 890. ES is bumping into 5,800 level of interest and VWAP right there. YM bumping into VWAP. Russell's already into prior day low. RTY into prior day low. Trailed right nice. Yeah, my trail's just below 890 here. We shall see. NQ into 900. Trail just holding on by about 2 points here on NQ. Just below 890, like I said. I wanted to give that 900 enough breathing room if it's going to bounce. Thankfully, I had that exit up near the highs for a partial. Volume is really already tapered out. Just average. Average volume. And here comes the trail. There's the trail. Not bad. Back to cash. We'll take it. That was solid. That was solid. I like it. S&P with a pretty nice rejection there. 5805 level of interest and VWAP. We'll see how this structure develops here on the indices. Sellers trying in this daily inflection point, like we talked about, would expect sellers in that gray zone there. Here they are. So this is a tricky spot now. Tricky. Session low is, what is that, 823? Staying patient now. Got the big rejection there at the daily inflection so far. And NQ not too far off of session lows now. Right back in here to that pre-market structure we discussed. Not an area I want to set risk against for the second time. As mentioned before, lower quality setup, but made sense off the open, at least in my opinion. So just staying patient now. Let the structure build out. Let it develop. Got about 10 minutes till 10 a.m. We do have a 10 a.m. data print as well. That ES short was beautiful. A little tricky given the pre 10 a.m. strength, but it's an A plus trade right there. All right, little structure holds again, back into 900. Right back into 900. It's a nice bounce. No position, like I said. Sellers sitting right there at 900 again. Like we talked about before the open, that daily inflection is going to be a tricky spot for buyers. Tricky. These are some wide structures we're trading with again. What is that candle? 33 points there. 33 yoints. Yeah, you got to drop size. Drop size a little when the stops are that wide. Always a good call. Unless you feel like being a degen. In which case, suit yourself, you know? Look at that. Look at that. $900 not friendly? No, sir. Not for buyers, anyway. Friendly for sellers. Still just with my little one trade here, the little trade that could. A little long off the open. This point, we'll wait till post 10 a.m., but not a huge fan of current location. Yeah, it's notable, Dom. We have the structure holding. Pre-market structure holding. Volume point of control shift, Ray? Not yet for me. Still up here at 173, but I see this high volume node building out. Probably a couple more minutes. Is the shallow fib for the overnight move and then value area low for the extended hours profile. A little churn here between That and the 900 level of interest. ES has just settled into pure barcode. So let's get this 10 a.m. print behind us. See how we're looking. There's 900 again. It's like, what is this? 850? Yeah, 850 by 900. At least the markets are moving. Better than that slowness. I'll take this over that slowness we had earlier this week. I think all traders would. All right, 2 minutes till 10 a.m. How's the morning so far? How we doing? How's it looking? Cash, one sim trade. Looking for the 00 level of interest. It's right here. Oh, 700, 700. About to say that 00 is right here, man. 900. Scalps off 900. Nice. Break even. All right, all right. For me, it's just been the one. Just the one so far. Oh, we can see that same area I had the long is held as support again 3 times now, but like I said, not an area I want to set risk against second and third time, given the quality of that setup. Here comes data. Spread is opening. Spread opens up. Let's see the data print. 15 seconds. 10 a.m. Volume non-existent right now. Is that it? Kidding me? Nothing burger? Burger nothing? All right, up above 900. It's a little more interesting. Take a look at the 5 here. Two-hour closed green. fresh 4-hour just opened. Inside week. Man, that monthly hammer panned out nicely. You guys remember talking about that? Coming into the end of May here. I'd like to see price kind of leave this area. Note the volume falling off. 3-day weekend. So possible, not only possible, likely that today ends up being a slower session, even with that volatility pre-market. Ray remembers. RTY bumping into prior day low still. No pullback there. A lot of drift. YM into session highs. All right, NASDAQ curling up a bit. Coming into session highs here. Got VWAP right in that area. What is that, 960? I'm just eyeballing it. Yeah, 962. So that pre-market structure holds. It's basically your opening print, pre-market structure, shallow fib. A lot of reference points through there. See how the highs are going to be treated. NASDAQ just shy of session highs. $9.53 is the high. We'll see that reaction to session high and VWAP. Still not a ton I can do here. Just based on that higher time frame structure. Very tough to be grabbing fresh longs in an area where you're going to be expecting sellers. At least for me. Looks like ES technically made a session high there. Better volume in ES this morning. We'll see if this can clear the 5805. Something like that. Might be worth keeping an eye on there. ES. Same sort of structure here. Held that pre-market range. Break the range. Retest. Hold. Tough spot though with the level of interest in VWAP and the session high. Sellers like it, especially given the gap lower. Oh, this thing's in no man's land. Wow. We're in the big gap here. ES. Unfilled gap. You can see why sellers are trying to defend that 5805 now. Yeah, it's a huge unfilled gap there from early May. So far, still just with the one trade. Volume remains a concern. Something I'm, like I said, keeping an eye on today, given the holiday weekend. It's not unusual for that Friday before a holiday weekend to be quite a bit slower. So Always looking for reasons to do less to not put a trade on. There you go. New high of day, NASDAQ 21K, just overhead now, 50% fib in this area as well. There's your volume. There it is. So clearing this area definitely helps the long thesis there. $21K, almost a true test. What is the high? 995. Like to see a break of the 21K and then some acceptance above. It's like best case scenario for the long idea. So you get a little blip of volume there on the break and then just non-existent again. 21K rejecting. Back into 950. It's the previous session high. Still no new trades on my end. And Q again back into 900. Nice rejection there at 21K if you like the short. If you took the short, that's your first target zone there. Grab that short, Dom? Nice. Just wondering if anyone was in there. Under VWAP, solid. It's a good call. Couldn't be the first. Smart. Love it. Love it. Nice little bounce there. No position. Still just with the one trade. I like to see this gray zone be resolved. Just based on higher time frame. And I'm willing to wait for it because we already had a pretty nice trade on the sesh. Patience pays. Patience pays. NASDAQ getting back up into session highs. So let's see this reaction at 21K again. Yeah, it was a decent attempt down there, Dom. A little undercut of that prior higher low. 900 level of interest. NQ just shy of the highs here, just shy of that 21K. Another rejection there. Is it going to be a one and done day? Is this a one and done day? About 1 hour into the sesh. There's your session volume point of control right there, 933 for NASDAQ. Structure's getting a little bit tighter. Yeah, it's a tricky spot. Tricky spot. It's that higher time frame inflection point. That's why I'm largely not getting involved in here. Sit with the one trade. Yeah, I like over 21K or down into the 700. 900 can definitely work, but preference is just above the 21K, especially being up almost 100 points on the sesh. Kind of got one of the main moves that I wanted, so structure is definitely getting tighter though. See if buyers are able to break that 21K area. Okay. Back in a session highs. Yeah, it's important to zoom out, recenter yourself. Make sure you're not just trading every little microstructure. It's a one-way ticket to over trading. Looking for those big picture plays here, like we discussed in yesterday's TMG. Sellers right there again at the 50% fib, 21K area. Some supply just sitting right in there. Right through here. 5 minute just showing us barcode. Another rejection there. Got your payout, Des? Nice. Congrats, man. Gotta love it. Structure continues to tighten. It's getting tighter, tighter, tighter. See if we actually get the break. Let's see. Till then, just sitting on hands, staying patient. Let the opportunity come to you. Don't force it. Don't force anything. All right, NASDAQ kissing the highs again. That's progress, Dom. It's good progress right there. Good progress. More consolidation here, just shy of the 21K. Just staying patient. I want to see if buyers can break up through this 21K level. As of right now, still just with the one trade. That opening drive play. And this is a very reality of trading right here. Staying patient, waiting for that setup to come to you. Not forcing anything. Not getting chopped up. Not chasing candles. And yeah, sometimes it's a little boring, but not here for excitement. Not here for excitement. Breakfast in 2 hours, man. That's lunch. That's lunchtime. Got a little uptick in volume there. Still just pure consolidation, though. 5 minute really gives it away. Look at that. Barcode. The old barcode. Scan it. Scan the barcode. What's it say? Ten minutes till 11 a.m. See if 11 a.m. corresponds with the break of the 21K level. Says I have a free combine reset, Chrissy. Another one, man. Top Step's best customer right there. Says I have breakfast 2 hours early. Oh. Speaking of Top Step, my 5K payout hit this morning. I was happy to see that. Always a nice email. NQ back in a session volume point of control. Got about 8 minutes till 11. A little uptick in volume again. A couple minutes ago. Yeah, it's just been a wall at that 21K, that 50% fib and 21K. A lot of supply sitting through there, a lot of sellers. All right, about 5 minutes till 11. Just wanted to see if around 11 a.m. we see price kind of break this structure one way or another. Working its way towards 900. It's a 38% fib from the overnight move. All right, it's getting a little more interesting now. A little bit more interesting here. Let's see. See how it builds out into 11. 3 minutes. So there's 900 as we get into 11 here. Not quite into 900. Just about though. 11 a.m. coming up. Session volume point of control right there near, where's that, 32, 33. Pretty muted. Pretty muted there. Oh, looks like there's going to be the range for late morning, 900 by 21K. Volume's pretty light. I expect it to get even lower, relatively speaking, as the day continues, being that market is closed on Monday. So you could trade the range if you're so inclined. Really what we want to see here is higher time frame development, just to prep for Tuesday's session. I was going to say Monday, but market is closed on Monday. Really looking at how is this daily inflection going to be treated? A daily time frame close below 900 triggers the neutral bearish backdrop. So this is definitely a key area on the higher time frames. There's your daily chart. Here's that prior near-term range, right? Did about 5 or 6 sessions in there. Yesterday, you actually have the spring, and it just fails to show any follow through. Rolls over at 300. Got that little undercut, Don? The little intraday range play. Yeah, that wasn't bad. Grabbed a little slice there for trade number 2. See if we get trailed out. Here comes the trailer. And there it is, trailed out. 2 for 2. 2 for 2 on the day. We'll call it there. Good enough. Good enough. And then they grab my trail and then a nice bounce, of course. There we go. That's better. Nice day. Theme this week, definitely patience. Patience, patience, patience. Key. Just got to let the trade come to you. Everything becomes much easier if you don't force it. So I hope you guys had a good morning. 900 stays on watch here, especially if sellers can flush this thing. I would not be interested until price gets into this area down here, overnight low 700 area, personally, for longs. Market is closed on Monday. It is technically a half day at the CME, so futures market will be open for a half day. Personally, won't be trading. So we'll see on Tuesday. Stream will be back on Tuesday. Don't forget to get your weekly review done. Look for that main constraint in your trading. What's the main thing holding you back from getting to the next level? Otherwise, see you guys in the Traders Think Tank. We'll be active the rest of the day. If you're not in there, I'll see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everyone. Take care.